it's approaching the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's up? So we'll be switching up content today, and I've been playing this for about roughly 2 weeks, I think, now, and quite honestly, it's actually a pretty fun game. I did record these summons over the course of, roughly about 2 weeks, like I said. These banners look like they have a 2.5% rate for the 5-star units in the game, by the way, and as of right now, it's only available in the Japanese version. Now, there are talks about the global version coming out as well. I don't know the timing of it, but I've heard that it could be pretty soon. I don't know, but in the meantime, since I do prefer most games in Japanese anyway, because, obviously I can read and write and speak the language, I figured I would just go ahead and start playing instead of waiting for the actual global release. So overall, my impression, I'm kind of just talking over this while, the summons are taking place. Honest opinion, it's actually a pretty fun game. I'll actually do a tutorial on it probably Sunday, just cover the basics. I know a lot of people are probably interested in the game, but a little bit of a learning curve, especially with the language barrier, I'm sure. So I'll definitely do a tutorial video just covering the basics and whatnot. But back to the initial impressions. I'm actually enjoying this game. I do check in or log in daily. Just grind maybe like roughly at about an hour, just, winding down in bed kind of thing. But the great thing about this is there is an auto feature, so you can actually automate the battles, and you're basically like the manager, basically of the team or squad. You know what I mean? So it's actually pretty fun. Starting off, and I'll cover this in the tutorial as well. There are a few units, 5-star units that you definitely want to summon for. You have the ability to reroll as many times as possible to get, the 1 5-star unit you're looking for in the starter pack or whatever it's called. So that, is actually pretty good. For me, I chose leaders that have the like gauge boost, I guess you can call it, where it's like a meter where you have to get it to a certain level, 1 through 10 or whatever the case is, and then depending on what, how many, like your number rating for the cards, based on that gauge, you're able to introduce them into the battle and whatever. So there's definitely like stuff to cover, like training and events and all that stuff. Again, even if I cover it, I'm still pretty new to this. Like I said, I've only played it for about 2 weeks, and still pretty new, still figuring stuff out. But overall, like I said, it's a pretty fun game. And you're obviously going to have different types and different skill sets and whatnot. And again, I'll cover all this in the tutorial. This is more or less just talking about my initial impressions of the game while the summons are taking place, because I did record these, like I said, over a 2-week period. Just periodically, whenever I had enough crystals for it, I would summon. So again, the crystals cost 300 for multi-summon, and then 30, I guess, for a single summon. The concept itself is kind of similar to Legends. I don't play Dragon Ball Legends, but I did initially. So you have like the, if you get duplicates, it'll raise the soul levels, and then you can awaken your units based on how many souls you get, stuff like that. So it's pretty straightforward in that regard. You don't have to necessarily raise dupes and whatever like Dokkan Battle is, but overall, it's definitely a pretty solid game. You do have to think about how to build your teams based on type advantage and mixing in different skill sets and types for the most balanced approach. Like you'll have like the main attackers that go all out basically and attack specific units, and then you'll have certain units that attack like a range of enemies in the same area kind of thing. And then you'll have certain units that go for like the tendons and whatever, like the crucial key spots where you're able to either disable them or dismember the limbs, whatever the case is. And then you have more of like support type attackers where you have units that can just go out to whatever region and then just attack a couple times and then bounce back to the home field or whatever. So it's definitely a lot of stuff to learn. Like I said, I'm still learning the game itself. I do have some levels of basic understanding of it, but a long ways to go. You know, it's one of the main things that is irritating for me is, you know, Dokkan Battle I've played for a very long time, like shortly after it came out, so I pretty much have like a good understanding of it. I have all the training items I need, all the Awakening items that I'll ever need, you know, stuff like that. In this case, it's, you know, it's a brand new account, so I'm still like, you know, trying to get enough of the low tier training items to level up like not even one. You know, you barely get into a couple levels and levels increase, you know, per the available training items. Like the events are definitely still difficult as well for certain things. Like you have to have a minimum level for like a minimum average level for the team, stuff like that. Like there's also like based on training your equipment, you have levels with that, and you do have like minimum level requirements for the team to have like an average level for, you know, the equipment upgrades, you know, stuff like that. So based on like the each of the levels you upgrade for equipment, you'll have certain attributes and skill sets that become available, like critical hits percentage go up, or, you know, whatever the case is. So, you know, there's definitely a lot of information on this thing. So I'll try to cover as much as I can in the tutorial. Like I said, I'll try to do it over the weekend if I'm able to. But overall, it's a solid game. If you're a fan of Attack on Titan, I think you'll probably be pleasantly surprised and actually enjoy the game. The gameplay, again, is pretty cool. And, you know, even though I'm not necessarily covering it on this video, in the tutorial I'll definitely cover it, and you'll see, you know, how the actual gameplay works and all that. But I do have to admit, though, like I'm not like the biggest fan of Attack on Titan. I went through like a binge watching period where I, you know, watched the seasons or whatever. I haven't even finished like all the seasons. I haven't had a chance to really catch up with everything going on. So I'll go ahead and admit, you know, I'm not the biggest fan or anything. So there are going to be things where, you know, I'm not going to fully comprehend what's going on, or, you know, what's what basically. But the other thing to note is I only watched the Japanese version, so like I'm gonna probably have to, you know, get arranged or accustomed to, you know, the proper translations for the right terminologies for, you know, like the recon groups and all that, you know, whatever the case is. Like the recon regiment is the you know, translates to a certain word, and then you have certain other regiments involved. So I'll have to, you know, definitely make sure to cover that. By the way, if anybody has been playing this for a few weeks, you know, it's been out for a little while now. So, you know, if you guys have advice on, you know, what to go for, you know, starter packs or whatever, not starter packs, but like the initial one 5-star unit you get based on rerolling, definitely leave a comment. I think, you know, for me, I kind of, I wouldn't say regret, but I have Reiner. That was the first one that I had as the first 5-star unit from the initial reroll state, and it's 10% less than the gauge fill up speed compared to like Annie, and then you know, so that's certainly a good one. Like I said, for me, you know, I may be completely wrong, but for me, the gauge fill up percentage leader skill seems to be the most beneficial. That's just my opinion. If I'm wrong, definitely leave a comment and say otherwise. You know what I mean? So, based on summoning so far, I've managed to pick up a couple of 5-stars. It's been, you know, you get lucky or not, based on, you know, it really does come down to luck. It's a 2.5% chance anyway. So there are going to be multis where you really don't pick up much, but that's really the way the gacha games go. Now, in terms of Attack on Titan tactics, I am going to be completely free to play with this. I waste enough funds as it is for the Dokkan Battle stuff, so definitely not going to be doing anything crazy with this. I'll probably keep this, you know, free to play, like I said. So for now, you know, it's got enough to do where you're able to get enough like daily login, crystals and all that. All the story events available still, most of it anyway. I think I'm on like chapter 4 or 5, I can't remember, but you know, there's a lot of stuff to cover, and I'll make sure to do that in the tutorial, like I said. So I don't know how many people were actually expecting this video. I haven't really ever mentioned that, you know, I've watched Attack on Titan or whatever, so it might have caught you off by surprise, but matter of fact, Social Fire is the one that got me into this initially, so credit goes to her, I guess, for introducing me to Attack on Titan. So she'll probably end up playing it too. Again, the JP version's only available, so maybe once Global comes out, she'll be playing it. I don't know. You'll have to talk to her about that. But again, this is the initial summonings for the new Attack on Titan Tactics mobile game. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Definitely leave a comment what your thoughts are. So definitely appreciate that. So I'll catch you guys later, I guess.